Okay, let's get real for a second. You've got that thing hanging over you, right? That textbook maybe glaring from the corner.
Or that project just whispering your name.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're probably, let's be honest, deep in some internet rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Maybe even those super cute baby goats in pajamas I keep seeing.
we've all been there. Definitely. No shame.
No shame at all, but procrastination. It really is like a kind of mental quicksand, isn't it? You struggle, you just get more stuck.
That feeling is so familiar, that initial resistance, the friction when you're facing something big. It can feel huge. Avoidance just seems, well, easier then.
It totally does.
Yeah.
But what if we could, like, sidestep that friction? What if there were actual ways to kind of nudge our brains into, you know? Our source video calls it beast mode for studying.
Huh. Beast mode. I like
You
that.
too. So that's our mission today. We're going to take a deep dive into these science-backed tricks, all from Simple, actually, to help you break free and, actually focus.
And what's great about these strategies, I think, is they don't just rely on pure willpower. Because, let's face it, willpower can be flaky.
So flaky. Here today, gone tomorrow.
Exactly. So instead, these techniques kind of work with how our brains are already wired. Makes it much easier to get over that hump, that initial inertia.
Think of this as your, I don't know, your express lane, past the procrastination swamp. We're talking practical stuff, things you can actually do, maybe even with a little humor thrown in.
Keep things interesting.
Right. Consider us your friendly guides out of the quicksand.
Cool.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the hardest part, just getting started.
And the very first hack tackles that head on. It's all about making that first step almost ridiculously easy. It's the 2-minute rule.
The 2-minute rule.
Yeah.
Because our brains see these massive tasks like study for the whole final exam and just
Yeah.
freak out a bit.
Yeah, immediate overwhelm before you've even picked up a pencil.
Hmm.
So the 2-minute rule kind of cleverly shrinks it way down. The commitment is tiny.
Yeah.
Just 2 minutes of studying. That's it.
It sounds almost too simple. Like, what can you really do in 2 minutes?
Well, that's the beauty of it. It feels so manageable that you actually, do it. And then the psychology kicks in. It taps into something called the Zygarnik effect.
Ah, the Zygarnik effect. Right, that's the thing where our brains hate unfinished business.
Exactly. Once you start something, even for just those 2 minutes, your brain opens this little mental tab and it kind of wants to close it. It gives you this little nudge to keep going.
So just glancing at your notes for 2 minutes might actually make you want to keep going. Suddenly it's like half an hour later and you're still at it.
It can totally snowball like that. Much better than goat videos, as cute as they are.
Way better.
Ugh.
And there's a bonus tip for this one too, right?
Oh, yeah, this is a good one. To make it even easier mentally, just tell yourself, I'm just opening my book.
That's it.
That's it. It's such a tiny action, almost nothing. But it removes that big, scary pressure of, I have to study now, and just makes step one feel effortless, like knocking over the first domino.
Okay, I like that. So we've tricked ourselves into starting. Clever. Now, how do we make the actual studying bit less painful? Less like pulling teeth.
Well, that brings us nicely to hack number 2, the dopamine decor trick.
Dopamine decor. Intriguing.
Mhm.
So this is about the brain's reward system.
Exactly. Our brains love dopamine. It's that chemical hit of pleasure, motivation. Things like scrolling social media give you quick, easy hits. Studying, well, the payoff often takes longer.
Yeah, the good grade,
Yeah.
feeling like you actually get it,
Mhm.
that comes later. The effort is now.
Right. So the idea here is to deliberately build some more immediate good vibes, some positive reinforcement right into your study time and space.
So we're creating positive associations, linking studying with stuff we actually enjoy.
You got it. Like maybe you only let yourself have that really nice coffee or that specific tea when you're sitting down to study.
Ooh, I like that. Or
Yeah.
maybe putting on some chill music, like nature sounds or those binaural beats things. Do those actually work?
Well, some research suggests they can help with focus, yeah. And another big one is scent.
Scent, like smell.
Yep. Using a specific scented candle or maybe an essential oil diffuser, but only when you study. Smell is incredibly linked to memory, our sort of nose memory bank.
Huh. So your brain starts to connect that smell with, like, focus mode.
Pretty much. The source video mentions Pavlov's dog, and it's actually a really good comparison. You're conditioning your brain, you study, you get the nice smell, the nice drink, the good music.
You become your own Pavlov, training yourself with nice things.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
It just shows how understanding a bit of psychology can help us hack our own habits. It's not just about brute force, it's about working with your brain.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, next up, Harnessing that crazy focus you get right before a deadline, but maybe without the full-on panic attack. Hack 3. Use the deadline panic effect, minus the meltdown.
Ah, yes, the pre-deadline superpowers. We've all felt that sudden surge of productivity, haven't we?
Oh, totally. Suddenly you're laser focused.
That's mostly stress hormones, adrenaline kicking in, which is fine occasionally, but like the video says, living in that high-stress zone constantly, not good, not sustainable.
Definitely not healthy. So the hack is to kind of simulate that urgency, but in a, well, healthier way.
Exactly. And the classic way to do this is the Pomodoro technique. Heard of that?
Yeah, like setting a timer.
Right. Usually 25 minutes of focused work, then a short break. That timer becomes your mini deadline. You're sort of racing the clock, but just for a short sprint.
And you set small goals within that time, right? Like, I'm going to answer these 5 questions before the buzzer.
Precisely. Lots of small, achievable finish lines instead of one giant, terrifying one-way off in the distance.
And this actually does something in the brain.
It does. That sense of focused urgency helps activate the prefrontal cortex. That's like the brain's CEO, handling focus, decision-making, filtering out distractions. It gets it engaged.
Cool. Okay, activating the brain CEO. Got it. All right, hack 4 is about getting more senses involved. The 5 senses focus hack.
Yeah, this one's neat. The video compares it to how spies apparently use sensory triggers for memory. And it makes sense. Engaging more senses when you learn can make information stick better.
How does that work in practice, though? For studying?
Well, the source gives good examples. For smell, maybe chewing mint gum, or sniffing essential oils like cinnamon or rosemary. Apparently, there's some actual science suggesting those can boost memory.
Huh, interesting. Okay, smell. What else?
Sound. Using white noise, maybe, or those lo-fi hip-hop beats channels. Stuff that creates a consistent sound backdrop to block out distractions.
Right, I've tried that. It can help. And sight.
Using colorful pens, neon highlighters. It's not just making your notes look pretty. Those visual cues help your brain organize things, create stronger links.
Makes sense. What about taste? Are we eating while studying?
The suggestion is more like a reward after a focused session. A small, nice snack. Another little positive reinforcement linked to the effort.
Ah, okay, so it's the combination that matters.
Yeah, the video really stresses that. When you involve multiple senses, you're creating a richer, sort of multi-layered experience for your brain. The information gets encoded more strongly.
More pathways, stronger memory. Okay.
It aligns with what we know about learning info encoded via multiple routes is just easier to recall later.
Okay, now for one that sounds kind of weird, hack 5, active procrastination. Isn't that an oxymoron?
Ah, it does sound like it, yeah. But the idea is actually pretty clever. So when you're avoiding that main big task, you know the one you really don't want to do.
Oh, I know the one.
Instead of just scrolling or staring into space, you channel that avoidance energy into other productive things. But things still kind of related to studying.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
So say you're putting off that monster chemistry assignment. Instead, you could organize your history notes, or tidy up your desk, make your study space nicer, or maybe review some flashcards for Spanish.
Ah, so you're still doing something useful, just not the main scary thing.
Exactly. The thinking is, our brains don't really like being totally idle. So doing a less intimidating but still useful task feels easier than doing absolutely nothing. It keeps some momentum going, even if it's sideways momentum.
Sideways momentum. I like that. It's like telling your brain, okay, fine, we won't climb that mountain right now, but we'll walk around the base camp productively.
Pretty much. It's a way to keep moving even when you feel stuck on the big thing. And sometimes doing those smaller tasks can actually make tackling the main one feel less daunting later.
Interesting. Okay, hack number 6 is about shaking things up. The 10-minute mental download, or interleaving.
Interleaving, yeah. It's a really powerful learning technique, actually. Instead of studying one subject for like a solid hour before switching, which is called blocking.
Right, which is what most people probably do.
Probably. With interleaving, you switch between different subjects or types of problems much more frequently, in short bursts.
So like the name suggests, maybe 10 minutes of math, and boom, 10 minutes of history, then 10 minutes of science, and cycle through.
Exactly like that. The real magic happens because you're constantly switching. It forces your brain to keep retrieving different types of information, figure out which methods apply where.
Okay, so it's harder work for the brain in the moment.
It can feel harder, yeah, but that desirable difficulty actually strengthens the connections. It improves your ability to tell concepts apart and leads to much better long-term memory.
The video had a good analogy, like cross-training for athletes.
Perfect analogy. You're working different mental muscles. It stops you getting bored, fights off that mental fatigue you get from grinding one subject, and it boosts overall learning. Win-win.
Okay, cross-training for the brain. I can remember that. Now let's talk about prepping before you even start studying. Hack 7. Plan tomorrow tonight.
Decision fatigue. It's a real thing.
Totally.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
choosing what to wear can feel like a major effort sometimes.
Exactly. So making choices all day drains your mental energy, your willpower. The last thing you want when you finally sit down to study is to waste that precious energy just deciding what to study.
So plan it the night before.
Yeah.
When you're maybe less frazzled.
Precisely. While your brain power is still relatively topped up, and there's research showing this simple habit can actually lower stress and boost focus the next morning.
But you got to be specific, right? Not just study more.
Oh, absolutely. Specificity is key. Don't write study 10, right? Solve 10 practice problems from chapter 5, or outline the main points of the reading, or make flashcards for Act 2. 3 concrete, doable tasks.
And the bonus tip was good too. Lay out your stuff.
Yeah, lay out your books, your notes, pens, whatever you need. Imagine waking up, seeing it already. You feel like what do the videos say? A productivity ninja.
Yes. Ready for action.
Yeah,
It removes that little bit of friction, that, ooh, where's my notebook moment.
it just smooths the path.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to just start.
Makes sense. Okay, hack 8 taps into social pressure. In a good way. The power of accountability.
Yeah, knowing someone else is kind of aware of your goals, it can be a surprisingly powerful motivator.
Like you don't want to let them down or look like you didn't do what you said.
Exactly. Creates a sense of responsibility. You're just less likely to slack off. The video suggests simply telling friends or family, okay, my goal this week is to finish drafting my essay.
Just saying it out loud helps.
It can, yeah. But even better is maybe joining a study group or finding a proper study buddy. Someone you check in with regularly.
Right, so you've got someone who gets it, someone to share the struggle with, maybe even explain things to each other.
Mutual support, shared experience, plus that accountability. And if finding someone in person is tricky, the video mentions using tech like those Study With Me live streams or apps or online study communities.
Ah, yeah. Connecting with others, even online, can build that sense of shared purpose.
Totally. It highlights that learning isn't always solitary. Having that community, that support network, really can make a difference in sticking with it.
Okay, almost there. Hack 9 tackles something that stops a lot of people before they even start. Break the perfectionism trap.
Oh, this is a big one. Perfectionism can be paralyzing. That fear of not doing it perfectly can make you just not do it at all. Major procrastination fuel.
Absolutely. You get so hung up on the ideal outcome, the flawless essay, the 100% score, that starting feels impossible because you know it won't be perfect right away.
And the key mindset shift the video pushes is so important. Done is better than perfect.
Just get it done, even if it's messy at first.
Exactly. Set realistic goals. Allow yourself to make mistakes. That's how learning happens. It's messy. It involves wrong turns. Aiming for perfection right out of the gate is usually unrealistic and just makes you feel bad.
So focus on progress, not perfection.
Yes. Shift the focus. Every little bit you do, every paragraph written, every problem attempted, even if you get it wrong initially, it's progress. It's moving forward. Value the steps, not just the imaginary perfect destination.
That feels kinder, actually. Less pressure.
It ties into self-compassion, really. Recognizing that it's okay not to be perfect, that striving and learning is the real goal, much healthier way to approach things.
Okay, finally, hack 10. This one sounds fun. Celebrate small wins.
Yes, so important. Rewarding yourself for getting stuff done, even small stuff, keeps the motivation engine running.
It reinforces the good behavior.
Totally. It makes the whole process feel less like a relentless grind and more rewarding, literally. And the rewards don't need to be huge.
Like what?
Like the video suggests, a small treat you enjoy, taking a 5-minute break to listen to a song you love, maybe a quick dance party in your room.
Huh. I like the dance party idea.
Whatever works. It's just about acknowledging the effort, giving yourself that little mental high five, hey, I did the thing.
When you can even make it a system, like a reward chart.
Yeah, definitely. Like earn stars for finishing Pomodoro sessions or completing tasks and cash them in for bigger rewards later. Gamify it a bit, makes it more engaging long term.
Okay, so 10 hacks. That's a lot of good stuff. Before we wrap up, though, that point about motivation.
Right. The idea that motivation itself is,
Yeah.
well, unreliable.
Yeah, it comes and goes. Waiting for motivation to strike before you start studying is like Waiting for perfect surfing conditions
Ah.
might not happen often.
Exactly. But systems, habits, consistent action, that's what leads to results. The advice is don't wait until you feel like it. Just take that first tiny step, like the 2-minute rule. Often the motivation actually follows the action.
Action first, feelings later. Got it.
Such a key insight. Relying only on motivation is shaky ground. But building these hacks into your routine, that creates a structure, a system that supports you even when motivation dips.
Okay, so we've really dug into these 10 science-backed tricks, all thanks to simple, actually, to help you beat procrastination and, get into that study zone.
Yeah.
The big takeaway, studying smarter, using tricks that work with your brain, can make it feel way less like a chore.
Definitely more achievable. And remember, you don't need to implement all 10 at once. That would be overwhelming.
Good point.
Just experiment. Pick one, maybe two that sound good to you, that feel like they might fit your way of learning, and just try them out. See what sticks.
Okay, so here it is, your challenge, listener. Choose one, just one hack from this deep dive, the one that made you think, maybe that could work for me. And try it, like right now.
Yeah, not later. Not after one more video. Now, put that 2-minute rule into action or plan tomorrow tonight. We'll grab that scented candle.
You can absolutely do this. You've got this.
And maybe just think about this for a second. What if? What if making even just one or two of these strategies a consistent part of your routine could actually genuinely change how you feel about learning, how much you get done? It could really open things up, maybe lead to achievements you haven't even thought possible yet.